Hey guys, Johnny here. So I finally decided to review Nintendo's digital event at E3 2015. So let's get started. The presentation started off strong. They started off with Star Fox Zero. It looks great. Graphically, it could use a little more polish, but it looks like a lot of fun. And the gameplay looks very similar to Splatoon in that it has gyroscope controls, so you can pretty much fly the ship and you can see the whole like cinematic view on your television, but you get a cockpit view on your gamepad, and you can use the gyroscope controls to aim around while you're flying straight forward. I think that's a pretty cool style of gameplay. It worked very well in Splatoon, and at first when Splatoon was announced and I saw that control scheme, I was like, I'm not sure about this. I don't think I'll get used to that, but although there was a learning curve, once I learned it, I can't imagine just controlling it with just the analog sticks and no gyroscope controls. So I'm hoping Star Fox is the same in that sense, that it adds to the gameplay and it doesn't become a distraction, if you know what I mean. One thing that kind of angered me was that they did not announce that Platinum Games is developing the campaign. They didn't announce this in the digital event, which is a pretty huge deal. Like, everybody's been wanting this. Like, not everybody, but most people have wanted this. And there you have it. They announced it during the Treehouse instead of the digital event for some reason. But Platinum Games is developing the campaign, and I think Hashimoto is one of the directors for the game, and he was the director in Bayonetta 2. So you know the game's not going to be lacking in like any epic moments. So I'm really looking forward to the game. It's holiday 2015. It's kind of a downer. It doesn't have an online mode. Hopefully they decide to add it later on down the road. Miyamoto said they would consider it, but right now they're not planning on it, and that's kind of a bummer because Star Fox is one of those franchises that would definitely benefit from an online multiplayer mode. So I hope they end up adding it. They moved on to talk about Skylanders cross amiibo. Pretty much, it's I think we heard a rumor about this before E3. I thought it was just going to be like amiibo that are currently existing. We're going to have some type of functionality in Skylanders games, but no, it turns out they're making a Skylander version, like different Skylander versions of Bowser and Donkey Kong. So these Skylanders work obviously in the Skylanders game, but also there's a switch at the bottom which allows it to switch to Amiibo mode, and you can use them in different Nintendo games. I don't give a fuck about Skylanders, but it's a good idea. Like, I have to give props where props are due. Skylanders is a juggernaut when it comes to sales, and for Nintendo to partner Amiibo with Skylanders is a pretty good idea, not gonna lie. Those are pretty much the only like really big announcements during the digital event. They moved on and talked about like some spin-off, like kind of smaller spin-off titles. There was a multiplayer Zelda game, a multiplayer Metroid Prime game, games that nobody asked for really. Like, we want Zelda but not that Zelda. We want Metroid but not that Metroid. It's baffling is what it is. I mean, there's no other way to put it. They did announce a release date for Xenoblade Chronicles X, which is what I was hoping for because that's my #1 most anticipated game, and we finally got it December 4th, 2015. It's so far away, but at least we have a concrete date. That's what I wanted. They showed a trailer for Fire Emblem Fates. That's what it's going to be called here in America. There are going to be 2 versions of the game here as well. It was confirmed for Japan, but we didn't know here in the U.S. And it turns out there are going to be 2 versions of the game here as well. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm probably just going to buy one. I don't unless they're like different enough that it justifies 2 purchases. But right now, I would probably just only get one. And there was also a trailer for Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem. We still don't have an official name for the game, but they showed a trailer. Looks very interesting, so I'm still very much looking forward to that game. I think they confirmed it still for 2016. They talked about Yoshi's Woolly World, and I mean, when I say they talked about it, they took their sweet time talking about it. And these are things we already knew about the game, which kind of pissed me off because they did this with Yoshi and Happy Home Designer, Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer. These are things we already knew about the games, and they still took so much time talking about it. And at E3, I'm expecting like new announcements for them to talk for such a long time about these about games we already know about. It was kind of maddening, to be honest. So I talked about Yoshi's Woolly World. They talked about Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer and the Amiibo cards, and then they go on to announce Animal Crossing for the Wii U. But not the Animal Crossing we wanted. No, no, no. That would have been crazy. That would have been bananas. No, you're going to get an Animal Crossing party game and you're going to like it. That's what it was. It was pretty much a Mario Party style Animal Crossing game that works with Amiibo. At least it's free. I think it was announced that it's a free download and it works with Amiibo. They announced Animal Crossing Amiibo as well. Those look pretty cool. Not much to say about the actual game, though. They also showed Super Mario Maker. That game has shot up a couple of slots on my most anticipated list just because of this E3. I mean, they showed so much of the game and it looks phenomenal. The level creator, the online sharing, they detailed that after the digital event. They detailed that, I think, in the Treehouse stream. But the online sounds like they nailed it. This game just looks amazing. I can't wait for this game. They also showed amiibo functionality in Super Mario Maker, where you can use your amiibo, scan them, and then you get an 8-bit version of that character to use instead of Mario, which was pretty cool. I think they talked about that at last year's E3, about using different characters instead of Mario, and I think that's pretty cool amiibo functionality. I mean, you know, it makes sense that it's amiibo just because it is a Super Mario Maker, so you're not supposed to play as a different character, but if you have the amiibo, you have that feature, which is pretty nice. And then they announced the 8-bit Mario amiibo, which we knew about a couple of days ago. It leaked alongside the Animal Crossing amiibo, and that looks amazing. I definitely want to get that. I don't know if I will, if it's going to get sold out probably, but I do want that very badly. What else? Did they announce like some smaller games? Like I think it was Mario and Luigi Paper Jam, Mario Tennis, a bunch of stuff that I just wasn't very interested in. So I'm trying to remember, but I really can't remember everything. Overall, it was a pretty bad presentation. I'm not gonna lie. Like I usually try to do my reviews like a while after I watched the presentation, because if I was hyped up during the presentation and I do a review right after, I'm probably going to overhype it because I haven't had time to process all the information. If I watched a bad presentation, then I'm probably going to shit on it even more just because I'm so angry at the time. So I like to take my time, process everything, then talk about it. And yeah, that was a pretty bad presentation. You know, it's like, I mean, Nintendo had so much. They talked about games we already knew and smaller games that nobody really asked for, nobody really cared about, instead of having games like Fatal Frame. Where the fuck was that? I think they showed a trailer for it. I mean, they uploaded a trailer to their YouTube channel, but they didn't show it during the digital event. And we didn't see any Devil's Third. That one fast racing Neo game, which looks amazing, they didn't show that. It's like they had so many games that probably could have bumped this like presentation up to like, you know, watchable status, but this was just so boring. It was oh my lord, I'm starting to remember everything. I don't know. I mean, I don't see like Nintendo. They got the publishing rights for Fatal Frame. Obviously, they've been publishing it for a while. It took so long for them to get it here to the U.S. and they don't promote it. It's like at E3, like they don't promote. They decide not to promote it. I don't understand this. And Devil's Third, they fund the game, but they don't promote it. It's like they want these games to fail after paying for them. It doesn't make any sense. It's not like it's going to cost them any more to show it during their digital event. It's like, that's what's maddening about the whole thing. It's like they showed Yoshi's Woolly World, like they talked about things we already knew about from the game and these other games that we haven't seen so much of, they get shunned. Like it's like, I don't know, guys. At the beginning of the presentation, Reggie, fuck, my computer turned on. Reggie mentioned, how they're gonna expand into like theme parks with Universal, and their mobile games and NX. He just mentioned them. He didn't really detail any plans. And I was like, why would he mention NX? It doesn't really make sense because he said they're going to talk about it starting in 2016. So why would they even bring it up? After the presentation was over, it was crystal clear to me why they brought it up. That was basically, from what I took from all this, is that the games that we know about, the games they talked about over and over again, the games that we've been shown over and over again, these are what's left for the Wii U. Like that's it. It looks like Nintendo's shifting their focus now to NX, and they said they're going to talk about it more thoroughly starting next year. So I think it's already coming. They already know that. They've tried everything they could with the Wii U after a terrible launch. I think that's what killed it, to be honest. Like, it was a terrible launch, too much confusion with the brand name, not enough software when it first launched. It's like they killed it, but like right out of the gate, and then they tried to make up for it these last like 2 years, and it's been like a year to 2 years, and it's been doing pretty good. It's been getting so much great software, and it's honestly probably one of my favorite Nintendo consoles, to be honest, just because of the games that I have. I have a pretty good amount of games for it, but it's like it doesn't matter. It's not selling. It's selling, but not to the point where. I mean, it's like barely. I don't even think it's surpassing like the Dreamcast at this point. So I don't know, guys. I think Nintendo's just shifting their focus over to the NX, and that's why this presentation was so lackluster. If that's the case, then it was a good run, Wii U. I mean, I love the console. I love it. I'm still excited for all the games that are coming for it. I think the Wii U still has a great lineup, but there was no new announcements. I don't see any new announcements, any new big announcements coming anymore, which is kind of sad. Anyways, that's what I took from this conference, guys. I mean, that's my opinion. I don't know what you guys thought about it, but as always, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys next time.